So, Ronnie, I know this building is very familiar to you, as you used to live here.
That's right.
Will you tell me all about it?
Certainly.
Come on, we'll go in and have a look. Now, as you can see, it's a furniture shop now. I bet you didn't remember it like this.
Yes, completely different.
Completely different.
Well, Glenda, this was my living room in my young days. And the building here was built in the early 19th century. Originally, this was a saddlery here, and at a later stage, the local post office operated in what was our sitting room. And when motoring got going, the original people had the first automobile garage outside. So business was, it was typical market town business, and my parents came here in 1942 during the war, and my father and uncle ran the Abbeyleix motorworks, which was on the property next door, and my mother started a drapery business here during the war. And that's how we survived those years.
Yeah, and Ronnie, can you give us a little insight into what life was like? You as a young boy hanging out here, if this was your front living room, as you said?
Well, thinking back on it now, it couldn't have been living in a more excited town. There was so much going on. The market town was full of life. You had all the agricultural business in the area, farmers coming in. Customers that time weren't customers, they were nearly family friends.
Yes.
There was a great rapport, and all activity was local. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now, times were hard though, but people made ends meet. And then we were surrounded by all the activity here in the town. You could say candlestick makers, bakers, grocers, undertakers, the whole activity that took place. It was very exciting.
And of course, with your father being in the motor trade, I suppose, did you have any interest in the business? Because I know that you were into automobiles.
I spent most of my life in the motor trade, along with my father. But I have to admit, my main interest outside of the motor trade was the railway station, the railway locomotives, and railways in general, because my antecedents had a connection with railways many years ago over in England. But I had a great time down in the station. And for this year, actually, we're seeing the 50th anniversary of its closure. But Abbeyleix survived, and it'll go on in the future.
Now, is it true that you were on the last train out of Abbeyleix?
Well, I travelled on the last train, and I had the pleasure. I travelled out on what was really the last demolition train from Abbeyleix to Portlaoise in May 1963, and that was the end, the complete end of the railway. So after that, Abbeyleix, really, what it was all about, society changes, society advances. We just have to move with the times.
Yes.
And we are moving with the times now.
And can you tell me now, when you walk down the main street of Abbeyleix, like, what way do you feel now?
To me, walking down Main Street Abbeyleix is a trip down memory lane. And I see where Morrissey's was operating, they had the bakery there, Kennedy's Butcher Stall, Corrigan's, all the names changed, the Hibernian Bank, which is now the Bank of Ireland. It's really it's a trip down memory lane now. It's a big Abbeyleix complaint, really. Everyone loves Abbeyleix now.